Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah. You see, Si, what makes this funny is humans think space is real. Well, it's not. Okay, yes it is. I'm just messing with you guys. So, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Bet you're wondering where I was all that time. So, about Star Trek. To put it simply, I like Star Trek, okay? Honestly, Star Trek is one of those things I really do want to explore more, but I'm not really sure where to start exploring. And no, I'm not going to watch that series. But at a convention I went to recently, I did find something interesting. That's right, I managed to find a copy of the Star Trek collectible card game. I lost the bidding war on it, okay? Don't sue me. But that still got me... As I was saying before my footage got corrupted, that got me thinking about maybe looking into the rules of the game and trying it out for myself, seeing if there was some way to play it online. And while I did find the rules for the game online, well... yeah, I mean... just look at all of those cards. Just look at all of those cards. Oh, and look at this. What does this mean? Now, this card, you know it's got to be good because it's a doorway. As everyone knows, you can't have anything else in life if you don't have a doorway. Oh, and here we go. We got everyone's favorite card, the Tribbles, from everyone's favorite episode. Which, you know, that's the one where Kirk gets beaten up by all the staff. They just keep throwing balls at him. Just keep doing that. Why won't they stop doing that? So I don't know if I've made this clear yet, but the rules for this game are really, really complicated. I mean, I did read through them as best I could, but there was a lot of stuff in there I just couldn't get. And I tried looking around for starter sets online, but I mean, look at these prices. I can't afford any of these. This is what my credit card looks like. And I wasn't really able to find a good starter guide either, so I am kind of severely lost when it comes to what to do with, well, this game, despite really wanting to play it. If only, while I was at the convention, there was a random person I ran into who happened to be the vice president of an organization who could help me out with these issues. If only. Remember to put transition here. With Miss Maggie, and can you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Maggie Geppert. I am the vice chairman of the Players Committee for the Star Trek customizable card game. We are known as the Continuing Committee. So our website is www.TrekCCGOverview.org. And I'm here at CogCon today to play the Star Trek customizable card game.
Okay. Can you give a basic explanation of the card game? Like, I see you have some fields here.
Sure. So the Star Trek customizable card game is the second longest running customizable card game after Magic the Gathering. We have 2 separate editions, and we have a side game called the Tribbles game. So the first edition came out in 1994. So this game has been described as basically a role-playing game for Star Trek with cards. So the idea behind this game is there's 2 different phases to the game. There's the seed phase and the play and draw phase. So the basic premise behind any of these games is that you play personnel and ships. You fly around the space line to different missions. and you do missions and you score 100 points.
Okay.
And if you score 100 points before your opponent, you win the game.
Okay. And the second edition?
So second edition came out after first edition came out. Second edition came out in 2002. They decided to streamline the game a little bit more. So the first edition game, you have what's known as a seed phase, where you sort of lay out the game. It's sort of like building the game board for a German board game.
So like those cards, there'd be an entire phase where you would just put those out, essentially.
Right. So you and your opponent are both putting out your missions, and you would slide them between each other. So you might have, your opponent might play their own missions, and they're facing one way, your missions are facing the other way. So you have this long line of missions, and you fly your ship back and forth to go to the different missions.
Okay.
In second edition, one of the things that they streamlined about it is there's no, so you don't just get to go to your mission and say, well, I've brought some people and I can complete the mission. Your opponent tries to stop you from winning by giving you dilemmas. So in first edition, your opponents lay out dilemmas for you under your mission at the beginning of the game. So dilemmas can do things like stop your personnel or kill your personnel, or crazy stuff like move your ship places or blow it up or do all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So you have to make your way through these dilemmas before you can complete your mission. So if your opponent stops enough personnel, you may not be able to complete because you don't have all the right skills there anymore, or you don't have enough attributes to complete the mission.
That does sound like it would make the game take longer.
It's not. Well, the first edition, it does get a little bit longer time limit in tournament play, but I don't think it affects it that much. In second edition, you lay out your missions. You can play personnel, 2 missions that are known as headquarters missions. So here I've got Earth. This is where Captain Picard can play to. So this is a little different. In first edition, you have an outpost that you play your personnel and ships to. And your opponent does the same thing. They lay out 5 separate missions over on the other side, and then you go and play the game. So your opponent still will try to stop you with dilemmas, but they get played on the fly. So you go, say you attempt missions, and your opponent can play dilemmas against you to try to stop you or kill you or whatever.
Okay. And what about the third card game you were talking about?
The third card game is a little side game.
Hey, Tribbles.
Tribbles!
Yay.
It's like playing Uno, but with weirdness. So if you know how to play Uno, you know how to play Tribbles. And I can teach a new person to play Tribbles in about 30 seconds. Usually they win the tournament. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So Tribbles is just a fun side game. The idea is you breed up Tribbles. You play 1 Tribble, then 10 Tribbles, then 100 Tribbles, and you go around the group, playing those in order. And just like with Uno, you try to get everything out of your hand. And that's how. And then you score points when your hand goes out.
So it's just a basic card game like that. It's not like these where you need entire decks for cards like that.
It's a customizable game, so you can put in whatever powers you want. To make different Tribbles, they do different things. Different powers do different things. Kind of like when you have a skip or reverse in Uno, there's skip and reverse in this game.
Okay. One final thing I noticed is that some of the cards over here have other cards behind them and seem to be of different quality than these.
Right.
Did you make those yourself, or is it?
I did. So in 2007, Decipher lost the license to produce this game from Paramount Studios. They lost the license for Star Trek. Our players committee was given permission by Decipher to continue to make cards using their game mechanic, and basically, as long as we don't sell the cards, everything is given away freely. CBS and Paramount leaves us alone.
Oh.
We're small fry. So if you want to get into playing this game, it's awesome because it's free.
Now he tells me.
Okay.
You don't even need to buy product if you don't want to, because you can go to the website and you can print out every card that's ever been made in the game. So this first edition deck that I made over here, I actually borrowed this deck from a friend. We have a deck builder on our website where you can put cards in it and you can make a deck. I borrowed this deck from a friend. I took it to an office supply store and I printed the whole file out.
Yeah, so
All the cards, then I cut them and I put them behind other cards. But I put them behind old Star Trek cards that I had. But you can put, as long as your sleeves are opaque, you could put them behind. You could put Magic cards behind them, or Yu-Gi-Oh, or whatever, whatever old card game you still have in your closet.
yeah,
But the whole game is free, and so that we have a forum that's really friendly for new people. When you come in, you feel free to ask.
So the interview was supposed to go on longer than that, and in fact I thought I did capture more footage, but upon reviewing it I realized that the memory card had filled up. Now I am sorry, Miss Maggie, that I didn't get everything, but at the very least you don't have to suffer through that terrible Star Wars joke I made at the end. Seriously, I'm really sorry for that. Thanks again for all the help with that, Miss Sarah. While the rules aren't necessarily something I completely get now, I do have a better understanding of what's going on within the cards themselves, and I honestly think it would just take a match or two with someone helping me through the process step by step to more better understand the game. And to top it all off, she even gave me this. Now, I got no clue who this guy is, but this guy, I got no clue who he is either. So I don't know if I've made this clear at all, but it is not the card game being complicated that I don't like. It's more complicated than what I'm used to it. Since I'm used to stuff like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever the hell this is. Seriously, you represent Geronimo like this? It's more along the lines of it's just not something you can pick up and play. You need someone in order to explain it to you. So, before I actually go through and make a proper review of really any of them, I'm going to have to sit down and play some games and talk to people first. I will eventually make a video talking about each individual game, since I do think it'll be fun to play. Yeah, that just about wraps it all up at this point. Thank you for watching, and well, since there's nothing else going on, I think I'm going to... What the hell?